What's going on? What's going on? It is I, Nate. We are at it yet again, working on stuff, writing code, doing things, living life, feeling free, having the fun. You know, let's just jump right into it. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Anyway, let's just continue to jump right into it. There we go. Hello, I'm bad at using my Stream Deck. Anyway, today we are working on a very important project. I don't know if I have any viewers. No, I have 0 viewers. That's great. Usually it says 1. Anyway, today we are working on an extraordinarily, extremely, unimaginably, amazingly important project. We are working on hosting my podcast. So many of you people didn't know this, but if you go to podcast.npmail.com, I have a whole website that's been up and looking like this for 1,000 years. It's perfectly acceptable. You can hit play and whatnot. Things are good. Made this a long time ago. Let's take a gander at the page source. Oh yeah, this is what a web page should look like. This is beautiful. This is what all my this is what I'm talking about. This is real website type stuff. And this was made using an application called github.com/npmail/natespodgen. I don't even know if it still exists. It does. Is it public? I guess it is. Anyway, it's a static site generator for my podcast website. Basically, you feed it a bunch of these, and it'll make a website like this. I use it for this one, and I use it for my other not often talked about podcast, splittinghairspod.com. Nate and David Splitting Hairs. Fantastic podcast. I made a mistake by making this image way too big, so it takes forever to load. And I'm on a gigabit connection. But if you open the image in a new tab, you will see it is absolutely massive because I didn't scale it down because I'm not very smart. Anyway, so these are my podcast web pages. By the way, this isn't the best way to get the podcast. If you're interested, you can just go to spotify.com and search for, let's see, Splitting Hairs with Nate and David. There's a podcast here someplace, I swear. Podcasts. Is it not here? Oh, it's not here. Well, what about Nate Hates Boring People? Hates Boring People. Okay, so Nate Hates Boring People is here. So that's good. Anyway, this is probably the best way to watch the podcast. It's on the other platforms as well. Google Podcasts, which sadly is going away. Disappointingly. Anyway, so today what I'm doing is I'm going to replace Nate's Podgen, which was this project I made a long time ago. Let's see, 5 years ago was the last time everything was updated. Let's see when the first commit was. Yeah, 5 years ago. Ubuntu committed 5 years ago. That's funny. Anyway, so basically what we're going to do is, first off, go down a trip down memory lane. Let's take a look at this add episode. Let's take a look at this generate.py. Wow. Now that is powerful. I've got a class, which is fun. I've got some stuff. I'm just kind of building up a configuration for each podcast episode. And then I'm doing some regular expression stuff here. I mean, this is all great. You'll love to see it. And then I build an RSS feed just by doing this template thing. Probably not the best way to do it, but whatever. Oh, this is great. I'm doing string interpolation to build this template. Then what do we got? Then for each one, I build up an episode. In this And this is some XML that becomes the RSS feed. And I generate the HTML page. I don't even know how this works. And then I write all the stuff, which is great. So that's fun. Otherwise, I have the generate yeah, Irish Red Ales. Yeah, thanks for testing out my new auto moderation. This is fantastic. I love to see it. I saw it said it gave me an option to allow it, and I said, you know what? I won't allow it. This is my server. I'm not going to be disrespected here. Anyway. So yeah, so that's generate.py. What else do we have? We have add episode.py, which it's just a input, and you do some matching on some stuff. You want to get a unique ID. I don't know what this is about. Whatever. You figure out when you want it to be released, and then, yeah. And then it adds in a new feed file, which I don't know what the hell that's about. Let's see, temp.go. Oh, this is funny. Added a .go file so I can get to work in another branch. I'm not smart enough to get to a specific branch. To get a specific branch. I have no idea what I was up with, what I was going on with that. Again, please forgive me. This is 5 years ago when I had no idea what I was doing. I got some HTML templates. Let's take a look. Powerful. This is good. This is where you drop links to external places. Oh, that's right. This is in case somebody else wanted to use this this absolutely terrible thing. And then I've got this. So basically, I was doing the templates and generating a site server side a long time ago. You know, before it was cool. Back when everyone was still doing this, I guess. You know. What else we got? Got some CSS. Ooh, now look at that. That's beautiful. This is what I'm talking about. This is that good stuff. So anyway, all of the nonsense you just saw there is not what I plan on addressing today. What I plan on addressing today is the fact that if I want to make a change to the podcast site, the current workflow, and I haven't done this in a while, but the current workflow is to open up my terminal, log into my VPS. Let's see, it's root at ssh.npmail.com. This is bad content. It took forever for it to load. Anyway, /www/pod.npmail.com. And then I have those files directly here, and then I would just run generate.py. And it would put with the argument of an MP3 file that I've rsynced onto there, and then it would take care of building the website and putting it in there. But this is a DigitalOcean droplet, and it costs over $5 a month to run, and that's a cost that's too great. I mean, why would I want to spend $5 a month just running a podcast that, frankly, no one listens to? So I thought, why don't I log on to my favorite, cloudflare.com. I don't know why I didn't go to dash.cloudflare.com. Anyway, and then use R2, which is their S3 compatible storage, to have a bucket that stores my podcast. Now, I've already started a bucket. I'm sorry. In the interest of not struggling with some technology I'm unfamiliar with, I decided to do a little bit of stuff here. So anyway, I have that set up so I can just upload my episodes to this bucket. And then for the first 10 gigs, it's free to store. And I don't have to store anything other than just the podcast episodes. Right now I have this allmyfellas_bad.mp3 file in there. You can use that as a Discord soundboard if you join my Discord. And let me tell you, it absolutely sounds like trash. It is awful. I feel bad for anyone who has to hear it, which is why I put it up there on my Discord for anyone who wants to use it. That's that good stuff, I'm telling you. Anyway, so I got it set up. I got it loaded onto cdn.podcast.npmail.com, which, of course, it's just going to say you're not authorized to view the object. But if you do this, it should, oh, that's not what I wanted. If you do this, you should get, and it's pretty bad. Sorry for anyone watching. I'm not going to put a warning in for later viewers either. It's pretty bad. Definitely join my Discord. Get that soundboard. Use it all over the place. I love it. It's one of my top soundboards. Possibly my favorite one of all time. Anyway, let's get into the meat of this bad boy. So we are going to take Nate's PodGen and we are going to make it the best application. I don't know. Quite frankly, I think it's going to be the best application ever made. So let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. And we'll cd2 source github.com npmail. And then we will gh repo new. Is it new? How do I make a new repo? Gh repo archive, clone, copy, delete, create. Oh, create. npmail slash, what do we call it? No, actually, we're just gonna. I'm just gonna use Nate's PodGen, I think. So I'll do gh repo clone npmail slash Nate's PodGen. Fantastic. Oh, I can upgrade GH. Ooh. Regular maintenance going on the server. I mean, how many times has that happened? Honestly, it happens all the time. It's probably going to happen again. Very soon. So here we are. Okay. Now let's do git checkout -b. What are we going to call this? Modern? More modern hosting solution. All right, so let's just open up a todo.txt. So what do we need to do? One, we need to, I didn't really think about this. The first thing we need to do is, oh, see, now I'm getting this analysis paralysis thing. First thing we need to do, set up an easy to use uploader to get podcast MP3s into Cloudflare's R2 system. That's pretty easy. All right. Bad Brad the Dad Stag says, it's always create a README, LOL. This is an existing project. I've had a README for years. That's the problem. Like, what am I going to do? Like, it's already there. It exists. Nothing I can do about that. Anyway. So the first thing you do, set up an easy uploader to get the MP3s into Cloudflare's R2 system. The second thing I need to do, come up with a better way to store the metadata. That's important. So I currently, it's stored on the server in, geez. Come up with a better way to store the metadata. Because currently, I don't like the way it's stored. If I SSHN, /www/pod. Currently, it's stored in this feed.ini file. Feed.ini, where you have the name of the thing and then all of the different key values. And, You know, I guess for the sake of just getting it working, I could probably just keep using this feed.ini and then just replace this with a link to, it'd be something like link equals cdn.npmail.com/whatever. So maybe that's going to come like way later. It's still number 2, but it's something that's going to come way later. And then, of course, 3, make the generated site much more better-ish. So we have our work cut out for us. I don't actually know how. I've never actually used Amazon S3 as a real like application developer. So I don't really know how that works, and R2 is supposed to be like equivalent, but I don't know exactly how that's going to go. So that's going to be fun. But the first thing to do, honestly, I don't know that I care for my current Python tooling here. So I kind of want to just recreate this in something that isn't Python. And look at this. It's already mad at me. It's already mad at me. Get item method not defined on type namespace. Operator plus not supported for types and whatever, and int. What's this one? Image path is not defined. That's wild. Plus, I don't even like Python. I don't know. I mean, do I even use Python? I don't even know. And let's look at what this generate.py looks like in here again. Let's see how the LSP starts up. Oh, maybe it has no complaints. Maybe this is actually perfectly good Python code. No, this is actually perfectly good Python code. Congratulations, Nate, from 5 years ago. You did it. You knew how to write Python, or according to, you knew how to write a Python file that didn't get yelled at by the LSP of current day. So I don't know what that's about. I could have done this using this whole thing using the XML tree built in. I didn't for 2 reasons. 1, I hate using that module. 2, it's much more difficult to read and understand for no good reason other than it's Pythonic. Don't at me. Wow, native 5 years ago. You couldn't have put it. I couldn't have put it better myself. Anyway, so basically this is just a static site generator that uses templates. So I can just copy all these templates into a Go file. And modify them slightly, and it won't actually be too bad. Shopma says peps.python.org/pep0008 naming conventions. Let's take a look at those naming conventions. Who cares? Great, I'm glad we looked at those naming conventions. Anyway. Oh, I didn't want a vertical split. Shopmiss. Just being an asshole as always. Indeed I am. I like to do the naming convention thing by just having like a linter or an LSP or both installed, and just letting that thing tell me what to do. Reading a bunch, kind of a hassle. Also, I don't even write Python really anymore, so I'm not really worrying about it. Where's that .go file that I had in here? Temp.go? I was being one pointing out naming conventions, I meant. Oh, you were being an asshole. Well, I was being an asshole ignoring you pointing them out, so I guess, what is that, a scratch? That's like, even game? We're even. Fantastic. What was I doing? Oh, I have this temp.go file. I don't even like this temp.go file. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to make a new one. I'm going to call it, well, first off, I'm going to run go mod init. Actually, have I already run go mod init? Do I have a go.mod? Oh, go mod init. github.com/npmail/ let's see, Nate's podgen / no, that's it. go mod tidy. Fantastic. And we're going to move temp.go to main.go. So now is where the fun part happens. So I'll just do a func main. Oops. And then of course, we always got to start fmt.println hello world. Got to add that import. We got them. So I suppose the easiest thing to do would be to just open up generate.py and start translating. So we have a class episode, so that's going to be a struct episode. That's going to be a type episode struct. Fantastic. That will contain a link. Oh, man. Use ChatGPT and spend 50 minutes trying to figure out bugs. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to write it myself. I'm going to spend 48 minutes figuring out bugs and only spend 3 times as long to write it. So it's got a link, and I'm going to eventually put this into its own package, so I'm going to capitalize that. It's got a length, L-E-N-G-T-H, string, which is actually going to be a... this is probably going to eventually need to be an amount of time. Well, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. It's got all this other stuff, but what we're going to do is we're going to do a capital V to, a control V to go into visual block mode. We're going to go here, and then we're going to go find the equal sign. Well, that's not what I wanted. We're going to yank all that. We're going to paste that over here. We're going to, I don't know, we're going to F equals D $. You know what? This is just how we're going to do this. There we go. There we go. Delete to the end of everything. We're going to delete that one. We're going to re-enter visual block mode. We're going to run the old tilde command. Tilde command. All right, that doesn't work the way I thought it did. We're going to run the tilde command. Oh. Am I dumb? Okay, there we go. I was trying to vim too hard there. Shouldn't have done that. That was on me. My bad. Yank all those. Paste all those in there. We'll just do a string, and then we'll do a space string. There we go. There we go. Now we're vimming. And then we will delete to the end of this. D capital G probably would have been the way to do that. So now we have our episode defined. And I cannot, for the life of me, find the tilde key. There it is. G capital U. What does G capital U do? I'm not following. I'm sorry, Shotmas. I'm sorry, Shotmas. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? Anyway, so we've defined episode. I'm just going to delete things. So then we have the old podcast. Type podcast struct. So that's going to be for the entire podcast. And we will just works in a block. Oh, I see. So we're going to take the entire podcast here, paste it in here. Throw open all visual block mode, delete all that stuff. So Shotmas, tell me, how do I delete everything from the exclamation mark on in all of these rows? That's what I want. I mean, I could do like slash equals, not exclamation mark, equals. I could do like slash equals, you know, and then capital, and then just do dot, in dot in This is annoying. S slash, oh, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it with Vim motions. I mean, this will work. Put those in here. Make them all a string, a space string. There we go. So I've got a class for that. And then what do we got? I could just hit $sign there. Anyway, so we got populate classes with a config. So we got to read in the configuration and go from there. So that is fun. And honestly, well, I either do regexes or a macro. Haha. Yeah, I got into macros pretty deep, and then I got tired of macros, and now I'm like, I want to like push Vim motions for all they got before I try getting back into macros. Because I feel like macros are more powerful the more you know Vim motions, and Vim motions are more powerful than most people know. If you catch my drift, Shopness. So this is where the fun comes in. So we have to parse our configuration, which is really just getting the metadata about the single instance of the podcast, and build up this podcast struct, which actually I don't even know that this is. That's still probably going to be pretty necessary. And then for every episode in the config.sections, I don't know what that's about. Huh. Curious what I was doing with this sections thing. I'm not going to look into it. Like I don't think I actually care. Anyway. So we basically just Shotmas. Yeah, I get it, but I do a macro for one line, press N to go to the next occurrence, then stop the macro. Yeah, that's usually how I would go about it, but it's just like I feel like I could do it with like I know there's a way in like visual mode, or maybe it's like visual block mode, to like offset where it's going so it's not a big rectangle and like do stuff. I don't know. So anyway, function main. First thing we're gonna do fmt.println, and then this is always a very important thing here. So what we do is we're gonna print a line that contains a little bit of ASCII art. I think that's very important. If we don't do that, then how will people know that the program started? So we'll do good old set. Oh shoot, I forget what the. Hold on a second. H manual user manual. That's the one I want. User dash manual. I swear it's possible. I've seen it, Shotmas. I've seen it be done. You may not believe me, but I think it exists. Where is the one? There was one of these things that had one of these things in here showed off a mode that's perfect for editing ASCII art. I'm trying to find it. Manuals, first steps, moving around, making small changes, settings, syntax highlighting, editing more than one file, spreading using the GUI, coming from a crash, clever tricks. I think it's editing. It's this one. Oh. Or was it? Editing, formatting text. Nope, that was the wrong command key. It doesn't help that I also don't know how to use my keyboard properly. Hold on a second. Let's just go right back into usr_01.txt. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Oh, it's control. Okay. It's control right bracket. I was trying to press something else. Anyway. So let's get into it. Editing formatted text. Control right bracket. Oh, that didn't do it. Control right bracket. There we go. And it is... I swear it's in here. I think I went past it. So alignment. Who cares about alignment? Who cares about justifying? Who cares about indents? Tab stop boring. Changing tab. It was at the top. I'm an idiot. No, wait. Is this the one? GUI options plus B. That's not it. Wrap. That's not it. Line break. Oh man, this is bad. This is not good content. I am so sorry. Virtual edit equals all. That's the one. So we'll just do a real quick set virtual edit equals all. There we go. Now I'm free. Free Vimmin. This is exactly what I needed. So let's go. Let's throw some equal signs in here. For the top, let's throw some vertical bars in here. And then let's throw some equal signs over here. Let's go right here, another vertical bar. Oh, another vertical bar. And then we'll just do this. We'll say, welcome to, what is it? Control I? Nope. WTF, that is so cursed. What is this? What's cursed about this? The best part is if you put something in here, it puts in enough spaces to make up the difference, which I think is just fantastic. And then I need to hit the insert key, but I don't have an insert key on this keyboard and I don't know what to do. You know, I'll just screw it up anyway. Let's say, welcome to, you're missing a pipe on the first line. Am I? Oh, yeah, I had that wrong. There we go. Welcome to Nate's Pod Gen. And we'll just delete all these. And then, what do we want in this ASCII art? Let's make a circle right here. One of the most annoying things to make in a thing. So we'll do one of these. We'll do We'll do a backslash. I don't know where backslash is. Press R to insert text. Thank you. That's what I want. R. That's fantastic. Thank you. Yeah. Capital R is replace mode. So we'll do a backslash, which is a key that I don't know where it is. There we go. And then an underscore. Nope. Underscore. We'll do another. Nope. A slash here. Nope, that's not round. We'll do another underscore and then a slash here. That's good. And then we'll go here. We'll do a vertical bar. Go here. We'll do a backslash. Okay, so this looks actually like a person. So I'm just going to give him some eyes. These eyes are going to be in the wrong location. Let's see. No, actually an underscore. This isn't too bad. So we got eyes. We'll give him a little mouth here. Make this guy a stick figure. I'm not very good at this. Ooh, can I make him wear a tie? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, this is not good. Anyway, so we'll give our friend here a tie. This isn't good. This is not good. This is not good. Maybe I leave the art to the artist here. This is ill-conceived. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Welcome to Nate's Podgen. I'll improve on that as I go. Anyway, conf colon equals read config. And you're saying, well, what's read config? I'll tell you what read config is, and I still have virtual edit on. Set virtual edit virtual edit. I don't know what any of these are. I've never even seen all these options. There's a lot here. Maybe I'll just say unset virtual edit. Not an editor command. Great. And we're back in main.go. All right. So we'll read in this config. And we'll probably want to... do I want to configure my configuration? I could be reading in like a whole bunch of command line arguments and doing stuff to find the location of the config, but I'm just gonna say that by default it's at conf.toml, because toml is a great way to store configurations. Let's get a toml reader in here. Toml reader Golang. Hey, toml package. I don't know what the best toml package is, but yeah, this guy has the best SEO, so we'll go for it. Consider Go toml v2. Much faster. Need help reading and writing toml. Go toml v2. Sure, why not? Let's do it. github.com/pelletier/go-toml/v2. And of course it's mad at me, so I need to go get github.com/pelletier/go-toml/v2. Fantastic. Going and getting it, and it's mad at me. All right, well, could not read username. Ugh. Pelletier. Frenchman. Ah, there we go. LSP restart, and it still didn't like it. What? Man. It's in the go.mod, isn't it? Huh. File is still wrong. Oh, you're right. You are absolutely right. The file itself is wrong. I spelled it wrong twice. Thank you. There we go. Imported but not used. Fantastic. So we'll do a func read config, and that'll probably return a podcast. I don't know. Maybe my config just stores all of the information inside a podcast. I guess we don't need episodes, external root, feed location. You spelled it wrong once and copied your mistake. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to say I'm better than that, but I'm not better than that. That is absolutely what happened, and that is absolutely something I do constantly. Anyway, so we'll do how do you use this thing? My config struct unmarshal. All right. var pcast colon equals. No, we'll just do var pcast podcast And then we'll say error : toml dot unmarshal, and then it will be I guess I can just read the entire thing in. That'll probably be the easiest way to do it. So we'll do io dot read all. I don't know how IO. I haven't used all the IO packages. I feel like an idiot for not doing it earlier, but like I've been using IO util, but I feel like an IO like idiot. I never really got into it. Golang IO package. IO package. Go docs. Fantastic. IO dot copy read all. Read all. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's that good stuff. So we'll do os dot open, I'm going to have to do f : os dot open, and then we'll do cfg file name, cfg string, let's call it config name, string config name, and this probably has many things. I need to import os, and it's not automatically importing it for me because I've done something wrong. All right, os.open returns a file and an error, f, comma, error, : that. If error is not equal to nil, we will just return let's see, fmt.errorf, maybe not errorf. Let's do, isn't there like an error wrapping in Go now? I never use the new features, and I feel like now's the time to do it. Error wrapping in Go. There's like a new, like very ergonomic way of doing it that's better. Yeah, the errors.unwrap is kind of nice. So let's do fmt.errorf read config. I like this this putting the name of the function in the brackets. I've never used that before. I think that makes a lot of sense. Read config. Let's see. Unable to open file %w, and then we'll do error. Well, that's fantastic. So anyway, we'll do io.readAll, which will give us a slice of bytes and an error. Conf bytes, comma, error. And then we'll just yoink this. And then we'll say unable to read config file. Ah, dang it. There we go. And then we will unmarshal the bytes, the conf bytes. pclass declared not used, and it takes the interface here. So pointer to, or the address of. There we go, the address of pcast. And of course, I've already done error. There we go. We'll just yoink this. Unable to decipher config file. There we go. And then we'll return pcast, comma, nil. And then we need to say it's of type podcast, comma, error on the return. So that's all fantastic. Now it's mad at me, so we need to add in nils here. Did I do this wrong? Oh, it should be returning a pointer to a podcast. It doesn't make a difference. Let's do one of these. One of these. I need to learn how to use my keyboard. That's my problem. There we go. Now it's not mad at me. I mean, it still is, but not for that anymore. So we got a configuration, which is actually just going to be called podcast. So which ones of these things are actually going to be configured? The episodes are not. That's going to be a slice of episode, so we can fix that. Slice of episode. External root, feed location, title, description, language, image location, explicit, owner name. Explicit is going to be a bool. Owner email, category. I think this is actually, yeah, that'll be a string. And build date, that'll be a date dot date. I need to import date. There we go. Man, import date. If only it was that easy. Am I right, gentlemen? Am I right, fellow programmers? You know what I'm saying? You catch my drift? Import date. Anyway. What else we got going on? And this is the wrong date. You know what? I just need to import time. That's what I want. I want time.date. Look at this. Even in Go, it's difficult to import a date, and I'm doing this wrong. There we go. Time.time. That's what I'm talking about. Now we're back up to here, where the real errors are. Podcast declared but not used, and also we're not doing anything with the error. If error is not equal to nil, module not found error, no module named date. Yeah. Anyway, if error is not equal to nil, we will just do a log.fatalf. Unable to read configuration. We'll do a %s on error. Are you supposed to use error.unwrap? Golang errors package. How does that work anyway? Just unwrap new function creates is an e wraps another error. E wraps another error if e's type has one of the methods. Error unwrap. All right, so that's fun stuff. Does a format will succeed if unwraps error, whatever. Path error as errors preferable. Great. Unwrap returns the results of calling the unwrap on marathon error. Oh, errors.join. That's what I want. Error dot. Oh, does it only have the error thing? How does that work? Errors dot join. Is that a thing? Errors dot join. Returns a single error. Returns an error that wraps the given errors. Any nil error values are discarded. Join returns nil if every value errors is nil. Error formats is a concatenation of the strings obtained by calling the error method of each of the alphabet errors with a new line between each string. Non-nil error returned by join implements the unwrap error method. All right. There's probably a better way to do that, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. And this thing's mad at me because I don't have log. So I'll just import log. Use the basic logging for now. We can fix that later. So now we get to the time we've all been waiting for. Deciding how to store all of the metadata for the existing podcast episodes and then reading them. So we have data that we need to store. What are good ways to store data? You could do a JSON file. You can do a SQLite database. You could do a proper database. You could just keep adding it onto a TOML file. That's what my old version of this thing was doing. What do we want to do? What's probably the easiest? I don't know, maybe a JSON file. Frankly, we just store it on the internet. Like, who actually cares? Otherwise, SQLite database, that could store stuff. Of course, what I'm trying to do is make this so that it's something that I want to make this easy to use for me. And the easiest thing for me would probably just be JSON. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use JSON. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. It is. Well, that's great. Dropped a few frames there. 516. But it's okay. It didn't register as quitting the stream, so that's good. Anyway, back to work. So we'll do existing episodes, comma error, colon equals read, I don't know, get existing, and then we'll throw in a episodes.json. We'll just do the same if error is not equal to nil. To read existing episodes. That's fantastic. So we'll say func. I want to say get existing episodes. There we go. Func get existing episodes. I'll take in a file name string, and it will return a slice of episode and an error. So that's fantastic. So what that'll do is we'll just do a JSON.unmarshal. I need to encode that or import that. JSON unmarshal value of type func data byte any error. So of course we'll do the same thing we did down here. Oh, f comma error equals, and then we'll say file name, and it's not an empty podcast. It'll be an empty. This will just be nil. Read configured will be, whoops, read episodes. Same thing here. Unable to read CIW episodes file. Unable to open episodes file. So instead of toml.unmarshal, we'll do json.unmarshal. We'll call this episodes. And this will just be a slice of episode. Return, what am I returning from here? Episodes, nil. This needs to be capital. There we go. So now we'll be reading in the episodes. And that will be, so we got episode, build date, time.time, which, description, title, feed location, external root. All right, cool. So we'll get the existing episodes, we'll get the podcast, and then we'll just do podcast dot existing episodes equals, and of course that will work fine. So we'll do podcast dot existing episodes equals existing episodes, and that's not going to work. Podcast.episodes. Oh, you know what? I never did the, I never made all these capital. And I wouldn't want a struct with 200 pointer bytes that could be 176. Let's rearrange those fields. There we go. Now this is some real efficiency we got going here. Anyway, value of error is not used. We'll copy this, paste this. Unable to read episodes file. What am I doing? Wait, what am I doing? Why am I unmarshalling over here? Oh, I'm in the wrong area. I want to be up here. Well, no. I need to do this. I need to change this to from read to decipher. Anyway, podcast episodes equals existing episodes, unused right to field episodes. That's fine. And then we'll just do a real quick RSS.render, which will have to be figured out. And then we'll do an HTML.render, which we'll also need to figure out. And then we'll need to do I suppose that's about it. So we need to get the render HTML. Render HTML. And we'll render RSS. So we'll render the RSS and we'll render the HTML of the podcast. Podcast.render RSS. Podcast.render HTML. That's fantastic. So how do we render the RSS? Well, we steal it from, and this file's getting a little long. I might have to rearrange this pretty soon. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do that now. I'm going to make dir, we'll call this, I don't know, RSS. And then we will edit RSS/RSS.go. Package RSS func render RSS. I don't know. Actually, we probably need to go back. Sorry for looking so discombobulated. I am just going as fast as I can type here. So let's just let's go back into main.go. So we're going to need these models stored in a models directory. So we will make dir -p. No, we'll just make dir models, and then we will delete those, and we'll edit models/models.go. Paste those in there. Package models, easy peasy. We'll need to import time. And then we'll go back into main.go. And of course, all of these are not going to work. You don't need time. So then we'll go models dot, let's see. Oh, I don't even have that imported yet. That is no problem. Import that. And then we still have more issues. Expected declaration found. What are we mad at now? Expected declaration type. Oh, I accidentally did something. We'll do models dot. And then we'll slash podcast dot. Perfect. So we'll do a quick RSS dot render, and we will do we'll probably write whatever comes out of that. So let's write this file, and we'll edit rss/rss.go. Package RSS func render, and this will take in a models.podcast. And we'll just go back into the Python and steal the entire RSS feed. What's it called? Not JSON. XML. So this will be this will be generate.py. Fantastic. So wherever I found that RSS is what I want. There's the RSS. So we've got the header XML. We got the tail XML, and we got the episodes that go inside of the, here it is, header XML, episodes, tail XML, and then it prettifies it. So we'll do essentially the same thing. So let's yoink that. So we want this. We'll just work on the head right now, and we'll turn this into a Go template. So we'll say RSS TMPL : equals, and I could do this the hard way and make a Go like XML definition for an RSS feed. Probably have to happen at some point. Maybe I will do that. No, that sounds difficult. It sounds really annoying. I think I'm not going to do that. So let's see. So the first thing we need to find is the external root. So let's look up the Go template language. I haven't done that in a while. Go template language. Template package. Text/template. Package template implements data-driven templates for generating textual output. Generate HTML output. Look, see HTML/template, which has the same interface but automatically secures HTML output against certain attacks. Templates are executed by applying them to a data structure. Annotations for the template refer to elements of the data structure. Use TMPL. Is TMPL something different from the Go template library, or is this just stream latency making this weird? There we go. There we go. Let's see. Different. Oh, I'll take a look. TMPL. Go. Tyler Moon Temple. It's wraparound Go's HTML/template package that offers two-way static typing, template nesting, and convenient workflow tooling for web developers. It's working towards its first release. Let's take a look. Two-way type safety when referencing Go templates code and vice versa. Nested templates and template fragments. Template extensibility through compiler plugins. Static analysis. Convenient but optional CLI for building templates to Go code. Standard HTML/template. Dot content. To start tying your template to your Go code. Oh, that's kind of fun. Dot context is the value of dot in Go's templating language, and the struct. Any exported fields will be accessible in your template from the all-powerful dot. Dot title. Dot username. Dot password. Provider. To turn your dot context struct into a target for the template compiler, your struct must implement the template provider interface. Okay. To embed your template into your Go program using the embed package from the standard library. Different. Never used it, but heard of it. No, this is interesting. I'll take a look. That said, I think this is a little too advanced for what I'm trying to accomplish here. Though I do kind of like it. Panic, blah, blah, blah. Rendering. After compilation, you might execute your template by calling one of the generic reader functions. Render to chan, render to string, render. Yeah, this looks interesting. But I don't actually think it's completely necessary. So I'm going to avoid it for now. But thank you. And I just realized the way I'm doing this is completely useless. This is going to be a hassle. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to D G. The standard template is really good too. No static typing guarantees, I think. Yeah, I don't need static typing for this, I don't think. I think I'll be all right. But what I will do is I'm actually just going to go to https://podcast.npmail.com/feed.rss. This is supposed to bring me to the RSS feed. Where's the RSS feed? I swear there's an RSS feed here someplace. You know what? We're just gonna go find it. We'll just SSH in here. Don't know why it takes so long. CD/www/site. No, CD/www/pod.npmail.com. And then we will just CD to site. There it is, podcast.rss. So it's .com/ nope, it's podcast.com/podcast.rss. Fantastic. I didn't actually want to download the file. I wanted to read it into my Vim buffer, and then I was going to go from there. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to read curl https://podcast.npmail.com/podcast.rss. So what I like about this, once I've done that, is I can just build the Go template around this. So this will be the same. This will be the same. Oh, I don't like all the new lines though. That's screwing with me. This is nice because it's like well formatted, easy to deal with. Doom 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 doom. I think I have enough of these. All right. So what we're going to do is it's going to be a template you're going to render against the podcast. So podcast is going to have some top level stuff that you can just use the dot syntax to get access to. So what we'll do is we will split this and we will open up models/models.go. And we'll start working on this. So the href is going to be very easy. That's just going to be the feed location. So we'll do change inside of the quotes. This will be dot feed location. Oops. And you know what? This is going to be mad at me if I don't put this in backticks. Anyway. So it's going to be feed location, of course, RSS XML. The title is going to be dot title. The link is going to be the dot homepage. Do I not have that? External root. That's external root. Okay. Oh, you know what? Feed location is where. What is that supposed to be? Let's maybe just not worry about it. I'll figure it out eventually. So this one will be the link to the home page. So that's probably going to be external root. You know what? I can just rename this. This will just be home page. Description will just be dot description language dot language. Last build date. Now that's going to be interesting because I'll have to I'll format the date in that format. RSS feed date format. Let's figure out what that is. What's the correct format for RSS feed pub date? Pub date article creation date. So I convert it date, YMD, STRO time, pub date. Place my tag with that. Okay, that's something. So it's RSA 2822 compliant date. So what we'll need to do is figure out the date. Figure out how to. I know you can run functions in a during template execution, but I'm not exactly sure quite how that works. So let's. What's the easiest way to do this? Play.go. What is it? Golang.org. There we go. So we'll just import. Oops. FMT, we'll import time. We'll do fmt.println time.now. Let's run it. So this is actually very close, I think. Thursday, 12 November. No, that's not it. So RC 2822. Let's see if we can do that in Golang. Golang RC 28822. So you say time.parse. Oh, we already have that. Time.unix state. Is that the one we want? Tuesday, September 16th. Whatever time, whatever. Is that right? T.format time.unix state. Time.now dot format time.unix date. Is this the format I want? Run. That might be close. That might be it. I don't know. Let's look up the good old RSS feed spec. RSS 2.0 specification, and that's what we're using. Sample files about this document. Title, link, description. Title, link, description. Language, copyright, who cares? Managing editor, who cares? Webmaster, who cares? Pub date. Sorry, 07. Oh, it's RFC 822. That's what it was. Is RFC 822 in there? No, it's UX8. RFC 822 is the one we want. Oh, and can't get to it. RFC 822 Golang. All right, is that a thing? Is there a way to do this? RFC 822. Okay. So if I just change this to time dot RFC 822, we can run it, and that's what we want. So let's go back to the Golang template package. Spaces, actions, arguments, pipelines, variables, functions. That's what we want. During execution, functions are found in two function maps. First in the template, then in the global function map. By default, no functions are defined in the template, but the funcs method can be used to add them. And predefined global functions are named as follows: and, call, HTML, index, slice, JS, len, not, or, print, printf, println, URL query. Got Boolean functions. Associated templates. Each template is named by a string when it is created. Each template is associated with 0 or more other templates that may invoke my name. Such associations are transitive and form a namespace of templates. A template may use template invocation to instantiate another associated template. Name must be that of a template associated with the template that contains the invocation. Okay. Parsing a nested template. Another template may be defined and associated with the template being parsed. Template definitions must appear at the top level of the template, much like variables in a Go program. Define T1, 1 end. Define T3, template T3, template T. Huh. Template may be executed directly or through execute template, which executes an associated template identified by name. Invoke our example above, we might write template.execute. Oh, that's standard out. No data needed. Okay. We can invoke the template expressly by name. Do that. Interesting. So I suppose we'll probably just have to get the podcast date into a string somehow, or get this into our RFC 822 at some point. So we'll just save this for later. To do, call the following code to get the last build date. And then we'll just copy this, C, and we will paste it. And that's fantastic. And it's mad at me. Oh. What is this going to be called? This is going to be RSS template equals that. And actually, this will be a const. Fantastic. And look at that. It's not mad at me anymore. I don't know why I let it be mad at me for so long. And I don't. Nope. Oh. Q. CC. Oh. There we go. And I don't like this wallpaper. I'm going to change to a different one where I can see things. Oh, and I'm on the ridiculous one. Ooh, this actually kind of looks nice. A little difficult to read. Let's go with the dark wallpapers. That'll be better. There we go. Some underwater rock stuff. We got description, we got language, generator, Nate's sweet custom podcast generator. That's going to stay. Webmaster. That'll be owner email is here. So that'll be .owner email. And then within here, we'll do a .owner name. So the image will be, so this is interesting. So the link is fine here to just use the dot home page. And the title is fine. It's just use dot title. Oh, and I missed the these things. The squirrelies. There we go. But this will be interesting. So we need to add in a to-do set up image link on, let's see, set up image link for site. I don't know. Say set up image link. That won't be too bad, but I gotta do it later. Otherwise, author will do dot owner name. I missed this part. Explicit. So then that one we have to figure out how to do booleans in template. So this is going to be if pipeline t1 else t0 end. So that's not too bad. So we'll say if, then we'll say dot explicit yes else no end. So that's not too bad. iTunes owner will be the same as the owner stuff. Oh, and I screwed this up. I need to get less sloppy with these things. So we'll yank this and then put that here. Delete that. We'll do the same thing with the owner name. I'm realizing possibly way too late that this is probably awful content. I need to come up with something interesting going on in the background while I do this. Or I won't. There we go. So now we get to the items in there, which we don't need all of these. I put way too many in here. So let's do a v gg, go all the way down to the second item. We'll delete that. So then we need to loop through all of the individual episodes and go from there. So we have type audio MPEG, URL is the podcast URL, is the URL to the file, the title for each, the description for each, date of publishing, the GUID is permalink, link, keywords, duration. I remember duration being tough. I might actually have to write something to figure out duration. Is there a MP3 parsing library for Go? That's what I want to know. Simple Go library for parsing MP3 files. Built this library as a backend for MP3 command line utility for merging MP3 files. Let's see what we have in here. MP3 lib.go. Okay, so we got some MPEG versions, MPEG layers, channel modes. We got bit rates. Got sampling rates. Got MP3 frames. Next frame, next IDV3 frame, next object, parse header. Attempts to parse a slice of 4 bytes as a valid MP3 header. The return value is a boolean indicating success. If the header is valid, its values are written into the supplied MP3 frame struct. Yeah, this looks like a lot of work I don't want to do. This looks difficult and annoying. Calculate the frame's length in bytes. There's a lot of confusion on how to do this, and definitive documentation is hard to find. You know what, I'm going to full screen this. as the official MP3 specification is not publicly available. The basic formula seems to boil down to bytes per sample, bit rate over sampling rate over 8, frame length equals sample count times bytes per sample plus padding. In practice, we need to arrange this formula to avoid rounding errors. Can't find any definitive statement on whether this length is supposed to include the 4-byte header and the optional 2-byte CRC. Experimentation on MP3 files captured from the wild indicates it includes a header at least. Okay, so this is good. So we can get the headers. Can we get the length of the file? I don't know that we can. But at least MP3lib, this will be useful. So we'll have to just go through and get all the frames from an MP3 file and determine how long the file is. And someone's already done all the hard parts, so really all we have to do is figure out what it's doing with the... Is the length in bytes on the side of the information section? Don't really care that much. So we just need to get the frame length. Okay, so we just add up the frame lengths of all the frames, and that will be all we need to do. Sample count times bytes per sample plus padding. Okay, so that's the length of the frame in bytes. So all I need to do is take the bit rate. All I need to do is really extract the bit rate from each frame. So I'll be able to yoink a portion of this. I wonder what the library is, or what the licenses on this. Permission to use, copy, modify, and distribute the software for any purpose with or without fee is hereby granted, as is, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's fantastic. So I will be using this. This will be good, because I need to parse through MP3 files to figure out how long they are. With variable bitrate encoding, it makes it very difficult. And it requires a library, much like the one that was written there. So it's good that someone else has already done that work. Anyway, back to Go templates. We need to do a range pipeline. Range pipeline. The value of this pipeline must be an array, slice, or map, or channel. If the value of the pipeline is length 0, nothing is output. Otherwise, dot is set to the successive elements of the array. If the value is a map and the keys are of basic type with a defined order, the elements will be visited in sorted key order. Fantastic. So we'll do range dot episodes, and then we'll do end. So I don't know what that enclosure length is. I think that might just be the length of the file. I'm not so sure. Let's consult the Go code again, or the Python code. Path.getSize link. So that's the length. So I bet that's what goes into that part. Let's take a look. Episode length. Yep, so this is going to be the bytes of the file. So we'll go back into models/models.go. So this length is going to be dot episode, I don't know, let's say bytes length. We'll add that in here. And this will be an int. And we'll rearrange that. Link, title, description, release date, unique ID, keywords, duration, alt image, bytes length. All right. file/mpeg. This will be the link. So then we got the length, the link to that. We'll need the title. So this will be CT, this thing. Title, we'll say dot title. Description, change that. Dot description. We don't, there's description. Pub date. Is this? This is the same format. So this will be a, let's see, release date. We'll do this as a time.time. And it's not mad about the, So we'll have to do another to do. Call the same code used to generate a build date to generate an episode release date. So that's fantastic. Is permalink equals false. And then this will be, I don't know how that got generated. We'll figure that out in a second. Link. Okay. So that will be dot link. Keywords. Dot keywords. Duration. Dot duration. And we'll do the image link as well. Alt image. Anyway. Fantastic. So that should cover like 90% of the RSS feed. So that's pretty good. So we'll render models.podcast, and I don't really want to be slinging around all this RSS over memory. I could probably write it to a file someplace, but I don't know what I'm going to do with that file. Maybe I just pass in the renderer an io.writer. TV Josh says, "How's it going? What's going on, TV Josh? I'm doing all right. I'm rewriting an old program that I wrote in Python that would generate my podcast feed, and I'm rewriting it into Go so that I can use it when I restart my podcast. Switching up exactly how I'm hosting my podcast, so I need a little bit of updated tooling for it. And the old tooling was 5 years old. It would generate a website that looked like this, that frankly does a just fine job, though it does look ugly. What's the podcast about? It's called Nate Hates Boring People. I interview people, and if they're boring, I actually don't interview boring people at all. But no, I interview people that I find interesting and kind of get their story about their entire life in the first half. And the second half of the podcast is mostly just talking to them, chatting, trying to get them to tell stories, things of that nature. It's pretty laid back, and it's just an interview show. I've recorded a few episodes along the way, but I stopped after a while. You can find it at podcast.npmail.com or on, I think it's still on most of the major podcast providers. I know it's still on Spotify. It's on I think it's on Google Podcasts and other places. If you just can't get enough Nate content, I would recommend it. My friends and family seem to like it. People were giving me compliments like, "Wow, this is surprisingly not as bad as I was expecting." So that's good. Nice. Thanks, TV Josh. And yeah, the code base was in need of some sprucing up anyway. I hadn't used it in a while. Let's go to github.com. Yeah, it's basically a static site generator that I wrote in pretty bad Python to do it. Worked fine, so the Python wasn't that bad, I suppose. But it's a little crusty and a little strange. And what the real problem with it was it assumes that you are using it with a, let's see, it assumes that you are using it as a site that's hosted on a VPS someplace. And I would like to host this using a slightly cheaper method that involves just hosting the site itself on like a GitHub page, and then having all the episodes hosted on some S3 compatible storage, particularly the Cloudflare S3 compatible storage known as R2. Cloudflare-.cloudflare.com. There we go. So they have their R2 storage. I have a bucket I've made. So if you want to test out and make sure that my bucket works, I highly recommend turning your volume all the way up and then going to cdn.podcast.npmail.com/this URL. Don't actually click that. It's pretty bad. It's an ear assault 5-second cut of all my fellows that you can get as a soundboard in my server. Highly recommend it. You can blast everyone's ears out with it. That claps, absolutely. That was just a test earlier today. I don't think I'm going to get to that today. I'm still working on actually rendering it. But yeah, so then you render this site out, render to whatever location, and then commit that to Git, and then push it, and then you'll have your podcast ready to go. Then I need to update all the stuff that was moving the files around to move the podcast file into the bucket, and yeah, I'll need to move the podcast file into the bucket, move the RSS page and the pages of the website into the GitHub pages. I don't know that GitHub pages is the best place for this. I probably should be using Cloudflare pages because GitHub pages is mostly meant for documentation for things that you store in GitHub. And I'm not even paying GitHub to use their service. So maybe that's not the best thing in the world. But also, abusing GitHub is kind of a mainstay among software engineers. Whether that's for your personal projects or for anything. I could just commit it to Git with this. Actually, I could just upload the site's assets directly from my computer. Ooh, Cloudflare, you're making it too easy. This is too good. Look at that. It's too good. It's too good. Or you do this. Set up built-in deployments, deploy sites. That's always fun. Anyway, also moving from an INI file to a TOML file. Pretty excited about that. That's going to be fun. I'm half considering putting up a Shopmas. How much will the R2 cost? That is a great question. R2 is free for, let me make sure I have this right. Oh, it's just my account ID. I can show that. That's not a problem. I believe it's free for the first 10 gigs. And then it's reasonable pricing after that. Yeah. 10 gigs. And then 15 cents per gigabyte 1.5 cents per gigabyte per month, which is going to be much cheaper than the like $10 I'm spending to host a VPS right now. Not free, but almost. I don't have 10 gigs of podcasts, and it'll be a while before I have that. Actually, I might have 10 gigs of podcasts. I don't remember. But there are no charges for egress bandwidth. So if I get the most out of my 10 gigs, then it's not a problem. I know there's a bunch of places where I could do this. There's a few places where I could do this for free, for actually free, but I don't trust them. I like to go with bigger companies, for my own stuff. And most of the bigger companies charge money, and this one's not too bad. First 10 gigs for free. I don't know how many gigs of podcasts I have, actually. I should probably look that up. Let's close out of this. Let's see. Oh, not DF. LS minus LH. That's what I want. 100 megs, 200 megs, 200 megs, 79 megs, 93 megs. So I got like, what, a gig and a half here? And then if I go to my other podcast site, also splittinghairspod.com. That's a good one as well. Highly recommend Splitting Hairs. Nate and David Splitting Hairs. This one, I've got many more episodes. And there's like a story that comes along with this one where you listen and, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but me and David get into some arguments. Nate and David discuss Thomas Hobbes being a bootlicker. Nate and David somehow come to the agreement that Thomas Hobbes should never have been allowed to write books 300 years ago. Great episode. Me and him disagree on everything, but we agree on that. What was I doing? I was going to site, and I was going to episodes. I don't have all of them on here. This is going to take forever. Anyway. So this one will be a little bit bigger. I got 47 meg, 140. So I might actually be getting close to my 10 gigs already. But anyway. 100 gigs will be a $1.50 a month. I think I can spare the $1.50, which will be much better than trying to manage storage on a VPS and big hassle. What was I doing? I swear I was doing something. Not Simple Web Gallery. I want Nate's PodGen. Back into the old RSS template. So we figured that out. Now we just need to get the code to do it. So we'll do template dot new, and let's import that. That takes a string. So this will be called RSS feed temple colon equals temple dot parse, and we'll parse RSS template, which is fantastic. So that returns back a template.template and an error. Parses the text of a template as a body for T. Name template definitions, blah, blah, blah. Templates can be redefined into the set of calls to parse, but before the first use of execute. Template definition with a body containing only white space and comments is considered empty and will not replace an existing template's body. So you know what? We can do temple, comma, error, colon equals that. Yank that. Go to the end, paste it. If error is not equal to nil. Actually, you know what? We can probably parse this in the init and then panic. Var temple template dot template, and then we'll just say if error is not equal to nil, we will panic on unable to parse template. Easy way to solve that. Var error. There we go. Oh, it turns a pointer to a template.template. Excuse me. We'll do temple.execute. Execute applies a parse template to the specified data object, writing the output to WR. If an error occurs while executing the template or writing its output, execution stops, but partial results may already have been written to the output writer. Template may be executed safely in parallel, although if parallel executions, blah, 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 who cares? But it takes in a writer and data, so we'll do writer, comma, data. So this will be data, models.podcast, then we'll do a writer, io.writer. Import io. And this returns an error. So let's do error. And we'll just return. That's pretty easy to render the old RSS page. The HTML will be more difficult. I'm probably gonna have to build a site for that as well. We'll get that figured out. So what else needs to happen? What else needs to go down? What new stuff are we doing? I mean, we're at an hour 48. I'm kind of considering just ending right here because this is like a decent stopping point. I got done building a package. I don't know what else I'd be able to get done real quickly. I suppose I can go back into main.go and call this render function. RSS.render podcast. And we'll move those to-dos back in here. Oh. There we go. So we'll do that later. So we'll need to, and another to do, we'll need to come up with the location to write the rendered podcast RSS. So that's going to be fun. I'll need to work on this this ASCII art. I think that's going to be very important. In the meantime, thanks everyone for joining. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Make sure to check out my YouTube account. I put up a bunch of new YouTube shorts. Also, if you use TikTok, I have a TikTok account. Put up a bunch of new TikToks. All of that stuff is linked on https://npmail.com. Some of the YouTube shorts are actually quite entertaining, as are some of the TikToks, I believe. I got like 2 weeks of those every day coming out. So that'll be fun. Otherwise, have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good evening. Have a good morning. Whatever time of day it is for you, have a good one. And on that note, I am